Kakadosh Boker Tov, we're just continuing with halachot of halakat nerot. Siman Resh Samach Gimel Sif Yod Gimel. Maran brings down an interesting case. Imagine right now you come to a city and they already accepted upon themselves Shabbat, which means you've got an entire city that they accept upon themselves Shabbat early. Now you didn't realize, you come into the city and all of a sudden you realize the entire city already accepted upon themselves Shabbat. So he says if he has money or any other type of a form of mukseh, he would have to just let it go. So here it does bring down, whether it's Mishabral, so here the Lachabrai brings down, that it doesn't mean that he just drops it where it is. He's allowed to go to a place which is going to be private or to a private room, and there he basically just throws it out in order that it should be safe for him. It's not that like in the middle of the Rishut Rabim he just throws out the money out of his pocket, but he comes and he has to get rid of the money. Why? Because since he went to a place and the majority of the Kahal accepted upon themselves Shabbat, he's automatically accepting upon himself Shabbat whether he wants to or not. Now he says, what happens if he's going to be very tarud b'Shabbat or he has sar, meaning that he didn't realize this, and he comes to the city and now he's all upset and he can't think the entire Shabbat because his money is going to be in a certain place. So therefore he comes and he says, so then they could be more lenient and he could just come and put it right in a certain place that it's going to be shamur, it's going to be safe for him. Now what happens if you're a guest? So you're a guest and you come to the Balabait's house and you didn't realize that the Balabait accepted upon himself Shabbat. So therefore, even though, right, you came to the Balabait, as long as the majority of the Kahal did not accept upon themselves Shabbat, you are not Nigrar Acharei Balabait, you are Nigrar, you go after the Rova'ir. And since the majority of the city, they did not accept upon themselves Shabbat, even though your host did, but you're not obligated to go after your host, right? You're able to. And he says if a guest comes to the city and there's a few different Beit Knesiot, obviously you go according to whichever one, because you have the choice. It's not that you always go to this certain synagogue and now since you go to this Beit Knesset, you might go after them. No, even if I right now decide, you know what, I'm going to go to this Shabbat to another Beit Knesset, but they're going to pray later on, and I'm not going. So now I'm not obligated to go after my Beit Knesset, because as long as it's a Beit Knesset, remember, not a house minyan, it has to be a Beit Knesset. Once it's going after a Beit Knesset, so therefore I'm allowed to do so. So to a guest has the same priority, right, the same privilege that he's able to go to whichever Beit Knesset that he wants, and therefore he does not accept upon himself Shabbat when it's going to happen in such a fashion.